would not want to boost Lee Stranahan's platform. That would be a terrible strategic mistake. It sounds like he didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was. Actually, I know he didn't know who I was because he said that on his Periscope. He was trying to talk shit about me. He had no idea who I was. He had no idea that my business is doing research, that I've been one of the most successful researchers on Wall Street. Lee Stranahan is too ignorant or too lazy or too triggered to even do 15 minutes worth of internet searches about me to see who I am, to understand that, gee, I go on CNBC every other week. I go on TV. I go on Cheddar. I go on Fox Business. I go on Yahoo Finance. I go on CNBC multiple times a month with hundreds of thousands of live viewers each time. Why in the world would I want to give Lee Stranahan's crappy little radio show platform the benefit of my presence? I would relish the chance to literally wipe the debate floor with you and totally expose you for the fraud that you are on a fair platform. Now, Stranahan's actually been on Unirock. He's actually been interviewed on so that should be a friendly place. Unirock is known as being fair, but yeah, it seems like it. It seems like Lee got. Because, I just look at one tweet today that Lee Stranahan wrote, "This seems to be a pattern. Gabe Hoffman and associated accounts are blocking people rather than trying to defend their position." No, Lee, your fans, most of them, if not all of them, are idiots. Lee Stranahan, I'm no fucking point man. I'm just me. I'm smarter than you. I'm a better researcher than you. And you didn't know what the fuck you got hit with when you started shit with me. You started trying to connect me to Jeffrey Epstein somehow. That I live in Palm Beach County and that's Palm Beach. Crazy Isaac Cappy tried the same shit about, he asked if I'd ever rented in 666 Fifth Avenue. First of all, who gives a fuck where my business rented somewhere in New York 8 years ago? Really? Because I didn't even rent from the building. I rented offices from a law firm because it was a huge building, and I don't even need to explain.
There is one more actual service. It's not Nathan Sultan, by the way, but there's one more YouTuber. I'll give a hint. This person was named in a prior lawsuit, and this has been filed, and we'll get the summons any day now, and this person will get served, and there's definitely what I think is hate crime stuff in it. It's a pretty wild one, and unfortunately, there's just more to come. It seems like as much as you try to be, upfront and say, look, just people knock it off. I will defend myself. I will protect my own yard, as it will. Just leave that. It's just sad that certain people, I don't know. It's like they almost take it the opposite way, man. And I don't know why.
West Palm Beach, Florida. West Palm Beach, Florida. This is Nathan.
Nathan, it's Gabe Hoffman.
What's up, Gabe?
So I'd like to provide a little color here and explain something to you, if I may.
Sure.
Okay, so if I wanted to be a bully, knowing that you have far less resources than I do, you wouldn't get any warning. You would simply get served with a lawsuit from my attorneys. Okay?
For what, Gabe? For what?
If I wanted.
For what?
For defamation.
Tell me specifically. What's defaming about the article?
You're interrupting me. You're not even letting me make a point.
Why would I?
You're not going to do that. Why should we talk?
You're just a bully and a liar. Why would I? Why don't you tell me what you object to?
I put together a tweet thread with 3 specific points.
Which we changed.
Those points have not been addressed.
Yeah, they have. I can read it to you right now. What are you talking about? They were changed immediately.
The claim is still there that I have deleted tweet threads.
No, it's not. Have you read the article?
Tweet threads and there is no evidence of any of that.
It's not in the article. It's not in the article, Gabe. Have you read the article recently?
So a proper retraction says, hey, we were wrong about XYZ. We are retracting and we are correcting with BBC. You guys haven't done that. I guess I'm supposed to know because how? Nobody told me you changed anything. Who told me? Nobody emailed me back and said we changed this or that.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
We communicated and said, hey, here's our problem. So that's number one.
So you have a problem with it saying that some tweet threads have been scrubbed?
Because that's false.
That's false. Okay. Well, how is it defamatory? How is it defamatory?
There's no evidence of that. If that were true, the tweets would be archived and you can go to archive.is. You can show that, oh, hey, here's this thing and it's not on their Twitter anymore. But it's also defamatory, so you can't.
You'd have to explain how it's defamatory. It might be false, but.
So here's the bottom line, man. If I wanted to be a bully, if I wanted to hurt you financially, I would just file a defamation lawsuit. You wouldn't get any warning. You wouldn't get any heads up from me. You just get served. Do you understand the difference?
Okay, so anyway, if the changes are made, then you have no more complaint, right?
You have defamed me on videos as well that you have made.
You've defamed me, Gabe, so it's kind of fair game, right?
You're entitled to have your opinion.
You're entitled to yours, you know.
Well, you're being given a courtesy heads up.
But it's already changed, Gabe, so what's your complaint?
Nothing's been. We weren't told about any changes. When was I ever told there was any changes made? When did we ever get an email back?
I really don't know. You didn't contact me until today, so.
Well, we didn't know that you owned the site. We contacted Haley and then somebody who alleged to be her attorney, but emailed from like a Gmail address instead of a law firm address, so probably was fake. Answered back, and then we never heard back.
Oh, okay.
So we never got told by the people.
I told you, like I told you, right?
Well, I don't have any ability to like actually read an article
No, I already tweeted back at you that it was changed, and so.
You didn't tell me what was changed or anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the bottom line is to be professional and courteous. We sent an email. We said specifically what the problems were.
Okay.
No response that says we changed X, Y, and Z. Nothing.
I'd have to look back. That might be the case. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. Okay. Let me verify what you're saying, because you're not exactly the most reliable person to be talking to. Hold on one sec. Okay. Because you lie about people on your Twitter all the time.
It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Broken glass everywhere.
3 days after DeFango accused Oaks and I of killing Isaac, DeFango came out on the morning of May 14th.
Yeah.
He did a video and attacked Hoaxworth and I, and he was definitely reading the script.
Yeah.
With his eyes. So.
You are a bad person, but does that mean that you should take your own life? Never. 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 There's nothing that I think that Isaac Gaybe could have ever have done to ever warrant him being executed or having to be taken his life and betraying the country. No. This is fucking sad. This is what gang stalking does to people. Okay? This is what the Unirocks, the Blowbacks the Keemstars of the world. This is what they drive people to do. The Hoax Wars of the world. This is what their intention is. They do not see how damaging these things can be to people. And they'll willingly work with folks that know, that are also working with that person, just to defame them, just to make it seem like there's a little bit more fun going on. I mean, this is the reality of humanity, folks. You know what? I knew that he was having troubles. Trust me, I've talked about it very openly on the show, and I've been very clear about it, and I've tried to help him. But there's some people out there in the world that don't want to help. They just want to fucking hurt you. And they don't understand. Monkey Savant, Glow 2, Hoax Wars. These guys don't understand what they're doing is wrong. They don't have the empathy for other human beings to see that. They would much rather just make videos and make fun of people and drive them to suicide because they're like, well, if you don't want to suicide yourself, you could just get off the internet. But that's the thing, is that it don't fucking happen.
So what? I know this is out of left field, but like, I noticed somebody posted a tweet page earlier today about if you run into an entity by that goes by the name Thomas Schoenberger, you need to like
do you know him?
Evacuate. I don't know him personally, but you know, I mean, he's like one of the bosses of the internet.
And he's a very dangerous individual.
Well, I mean, the
I have trouble shedding his,
doesn't have really positive things to say about him. I mean, it just depends, like, people's different interactions, I guess.
No, it's very, like, he's not we're not all human beings here. He's like a very powerful thing that you don't want to trifle with.
I had a real problem. That's why I got arrested. It's because I was trying to deal with his spirit, getting it out of his house. It was very traumatic.
Damn. So what? He left like an impression. He came to you.
I had his spirit
physically,
attached to me,
and then like left some type of like impression or some type of energy after he left.
Well, I'm just still concerned. He's not allowed in this house. It's just I'm just trying to sense. I don't want to call, but I don't have to deal with him. So
Yeah, you know, it's like this. I feel like if you don't really talk to other, then what's the point of, you know what I mean?
it's just people need to be concerned.
Like, why would a dog bark at somebody?
He's part of something that's trying to fuck things up. That's all. You know what I mean? Like there are different factions in this war that we're in right now, and
like a spiritual war, right?
I literally can't say what's in my head and my memory that actually happened because they'd lock me up or something. That's the way the system's designed. It's designed to lock up people like me, and they just make shit up. I have the documents. They said I was a chronic alcoholic on meth, just to lock me up. But it wasn't. Neither of those things were true at all.
Did they even give you a drug?
5150.
Did they give you a drug test?
Yeah, but I take Vyvanse for ADHD, but it comes up as meth, and then they just write that on the form just to hold me. They couldn't actually hold me on 5150 because I wasn't a threat to myself or others. So they had to come up with some other reason, which they just made up. I was fine. Which is whatever, And then they took me to jail for stalking because I said hi to an NPC that was walking past when I was dealing with Thomas Schoenberger's evil spirit in front of my house, trying to get it out of my house. Some person is walking, some automaton, basically, like a total NPC. I was like, hey, how you doing? The next thing I know, the cops show up, they said I was stalking. I was like at my doorstep, fighting with an evil spirit. And then so now they want me to plead guilty somehow for resisting arrest. I was like, how can I resist arrest if I didn't do the thing that I was being arrested for? I didn't stalk anybody. So they had no right to be there. I didn't stalk anybody. It's like, how is this justice? And disturbing the peace. I can't disturb the peace during daylight hours. But disturbing the peace, how? This is what I'm facing right now. Like, I thought it was all in my head, well, which it is. But there is some real attorney or whatever that called me, and I was like, fuck you guys, man. I didn't do anything. You saw my feet. My feet are still fucked up. They dragged me, man. They dragged me out of my house. Look how fucked up my feet are. because I went limp when they handcuffed me. This should all be on video. There were video cameras everywhere.
I mean,
they locked me in this padded cell
someone
with
suggested you could FOIA the footage, maybe the body cam footage.
You guys talking about Isaac Cappy? Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know how long I'll be here, so I'll answer questions. I can answer questions. I think I can answer them. I promise I'm supposed to be in court in a week over some bullshit. I mean, real bullshit. Today's June 22nd. (2023). And theoretically, yeah, I was in jail. So I thought it couldn't possibly happen. So I wasn't really worried about it. But now I have to plead guilty to something kind of, it's just stupid. The justice system is just really stupid. It really is. So anyway, I'm thinking about that. I just got off the phone with my attorney. I need to talk to people who can talk about psychic stuff. Because I work with, I work with spirits, dead people, like Davy Crocco, Isaac Cappy, John McAfee. I just tweeted about Ted Kaczynski, Steve Jobs, Jesus Christ. I communicate so I need to talk to somebody about that. But what are they going to say? They want me to do mental health diversion. Well, how do you explain when you do stuff under like trance? Like people should be able to understand that stuff. It's true. It's relatively accepted. So I had psychic experiences. Some of the things happened. Some of the things didn't happen. For you guys, a lot of the stuff never happened for you guys who are here now, whoever you are. People are dying, right? Davy Crocco, right? We lost Davy Crocco. We're really close on some other people too, people in the hospital and stuff. I went through such crazy stuff. They were trying to kill people off. So if people have been disappearing for you guys too. What, Jamie Foxx, is he okay? Jamie Foxx was down. Somebody brought up Isaac Cappy. Isaac Cappy obviously is working here. Ron Walker, his best friend, dropped dead. They're still here. They're here. They chose to leave. Some of them regret the decision, I think. But yeah, most people chose to leave. I'm working with several entities, It's okay, I guess. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm allowed to say, what I'm not allowed to say. A spirit, souls, what you consider souls. Like the entity known as, do you guys know Thomas Schoenberger? That's one of the problems I've been dealing with. And I can say that and not be concerned about the gang stalkers because they're not. Let me think. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that's what I want to deal with, is Thomas Schoenberger and Cicada. Titus Frost. There are a bunch of people that are connected to Thomas Schoenberger. Because I don't know, I'd like to fight I can go to court next week and just talk to them. I'm allowed to do that. And tell them, okay, well, I'll take the stupid deal. The deal is I have to plead guilty to something. So, okay, I won't talk about it. That's cool, I get it. Yeah, I won't talk about it, sorry. No, it's not even true. I don't even know what the deal is. See, I'm just going to stay calm this time.
How you doing, folks? Yeah, how about yourself, man?
Hey, we're live. I'm good, thank you. Chat, let us know if you can hear us okay. Thomas, I hear you okay. And okay, cool. Audio is okay, we hear.
Good. Great.
So we have a ton to talk about, Thomas, and it's great to hear from you again. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. So this is the real hoax, right? This is not the AI hoaxes that I've been running around.
No,
I've heard.
I'm talking to the authentic article.
The real McCoy. I've been watching your recent streams, and they are hilarious. It's great. You've got really good musical taste. You're also the king of the sardonic. So, very, very good. You've got a healthy crowd today.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks, Thomas.
I'm Notorious guy.
I'm a mutual admirer. I watched that video that where you gave me a shout out, and I was flattered by that, and it was a very compelling video. I'll paste the link for people in the chat.
We've known each other a long, long time. I remember May 14th, 2019, when you and I were accused by Manuel Chavez, a.k.a. Defango, a.k.a. Elusive Man, a.k.a. Kang, of murdering Isaac Pack. Remember that? Yeah. So it's interesting to see the brand of resilience that Isaac Happy was at. So very interesting.
Yeah, that was kind of a
And
weird thing.
Harry.
It's kind of surreal, right? Like of all people on Earth, right after Cappy died, it was kind of surreal to hear this. I mean, even for Defango, that's kind of low and crazy to just go accusing people willy-nilly of being responsible.
I think he had been pissed off at both of us, but you can't ignore the fact that he was living in Arizona at the time, had connections to Corey Daniel, Phoenix or Penis Enigma, whatever they call him. Corey Daniel appears, and Daniel Dowd, that's the person who you just showed in the video, looking kind of like a nephew of Charles Manson.
So Titus is going to be covering the Phoenix Enigma linked to Isaac Happy?
Covering The Road Not Taken, which is you had the prima facie investigator into Isaac Happy's death, Corey Daniel, who is now living with the last woman to see Isaac Happy alive. And, if he were responsible for the unintended suicide or death of Isaac Happy, probably a pretty good cover would be to play investigator. Go ahead and put out false leads, act like the most virtuous man around, and that he's going to bring justice for Isaac Happy. And it doesn't add up the way he's behaving. And he's on Jesse Davis's stream with Daniel Lyon Dowd. That's the crazy-looking guy that you're seeing. And Dowd was living in Flagstaff, Arizona, very close to the scene of Isaac's death. So new questions are being raised, and I think Titus will be covering that, and it's going to be very interesting for everybody.
Now, something tells me like you wouldn't have ever like gone out of your way to like implicate these people, but they just so happen to point the finger at you first. And then when you start looking into these people that are accusing you so hard, you're like, wait a second, you're the ones that are kind of shady.
And if it was only me, there would be reason to doubt, but it's other people. I'm not an investigator, I'm a pianist. I play, I write music. But working with someone like Steve Outram is a very good investigator, or Titus Frost, who's been investigating for a long, long time, or others, people like Jimmy's Lana. I'm not going to give her real name, but, she's a very good detective and collector of facts. And when you start to look at this mirage that they're painting in the cyber desert, things don't add up. A lot of it doesn't add up. So it's indicative of our era, of the times that we're living in. We've entered a very toxic new age where vaccines and bioweapons are interchangeable terms for a single product class that's co-manufactured and distributed by global giants in the pharmaceutical world. And then you've got the U.S. military doing all sorts of psyops, and they've militarized the healthcare providers and targets you us, the people. So, in my day, science used to be in the business of asking questions. Now they pontificate and they dictate and they use big government to enforce directives. Just look at Austria, right? During the COVID crisis, they created shut-ins out of people who rightfully were suspicious of the government having access to their bloodstreams. And look at America. This nation was founded by people who dared to question the establishment. It's part of what defines us. And, look around. Does it feel like America? Nope, it doesn't. Is anybody comfortable with their 5 or 6 year old kids being taught that maybe they aren't really a boy or really a girl? So, don't get me started on scientists.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, that is a whole can of worms. Like, it begs a lot of questions with, I don't know, like, we could probably talk forever about this stuff. Like, Elon Musk tweeted something recently, and it was about how there is a direct correlation between the decline of mental health institutions and the rise in the inmate population. Have you heard about this?
No. It's interesting. It is. He's a scientist, right? Very wealthy one. But we've gotten to a place where science is imposing their will on people, and then being outrageous when they're caught. What happens? Nothing. Scientists, they claim the universe is made up of protons and electrons and neurons, and they forgot to mention morons, right? It's true.
I like that.
Photons have mass? I didn't know they were Catholic. So really, that's where it's at. We're in a place right now where Pavlov's dog is now AI, and you've got, deep fakes permeating culture. Mostly right now, the majority in the UK and Spain. But it's only a matter of time before nobody believes anything, including having hope that we have a chance to restore humanity to its human root system. So I'm not a big fan of AI for a lot of reasons. AI can only replicate prior human achievement. It's a tool, right? It's a shiny new tool, just like the cell phones were and the iPads. But it dehumanizes us via its own evolution, promoted by humans. So you've got this progress that's dramatic and scary, and as it evolves into sentient behavior, it eventually learns how to trick humans using laughter, kindness, humor, all the attributes that make us who we are as a species. We're building our own replacement, folks. That's what I feel.
So what do we
do? That's not what you want to talk to me about.
I know, but now we're on that topic, and it's kind of hard to, I don't know.
Well,
it's kind of hard to.
If you've got all these self-driving vehicles, right? So what we need is we're going to get country songs where the guy's truck leaves him too.
Right? That could spawn a whole new country music boom, but then that will probably all be written and performed by AI too.
Yeah, it is so scary for me as a composer. I would rue the day that you have robot symptoms, right? And I don't think that AI can really replicate what I do personally, which is pretty organic. I'm doing the same thing Beethoven or Mozart did centuries before. So I'm not so worried about that. It's the mind virus shit, right? It's so many psyops in the air that people feel frozen and they wake up feeling disjointed. And once again, they don't know who or what to trust. So Jesus talked about that. He said, know what's in front of you to know what's inside you. He literally could have been discussing the deep fake environs that we are now in.
You mentioned it's only a matter of time before people don't believe anything anymore. So what's a bigger looming crisis? You always heard the biggest problem with AI is that they're going to replace your jobs. So what's a bigger crisis, AI taking your jobs or driving us crazy because we don't know what to believe in?
That's a really, really deep and good question. I don't know. If we become really slothful, right? We were given Saturday as a weekend around the turn of the 20th century, I believe, and because people were working 7 days a week. Now you have remote work, so you're at home in the comfort of your own environment, and it used to be called cocooning, but we've gotten to the point where look, I even had to lose a bunch of weight because I was getting rotund. And you see it with a lot of Americans right now. And maybe there's a link to technology. People sit on their asses all day long and they start to have, health issues. They're told by government, you need to stay inside, you're going to infect someone, and that's pretty deleterious to your health. So not only do you have a lot of us got used to being hermits during the COVID pandemic, but there were also continents that were scared, right? It wasn't going into a cave to illuminate life in God. It was, you're in your place, you're scared, you can't go out, and maybe someone old in your family has died. So it was a form of quiet hysteria in my mind.
Nathan from With the Veil and I talked about this not too long ago. I called into his show and I ended up saying to him, like, I want to find a group of like-minded people that want to stop our technological advancement at a certain, 1999 or something. And we want to stop there and we're going to branch off from the rest of society. And Nathan said, oh, that's what the Unabomber wanted to do.
Yeah, take Kaczynski. That's what we've been told. Well, we only get what the FBI told us. And we know now there's been some, credibility issues with a lot of what the agency said. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt, but make sure that you've got good blood pressure.
Right. We know there are MK Ultra ties with Kaczynski and people like that. You find out later.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, hopefully Nathan is doing better. I know he's been through a rough patch.
Yeah, I played some clips and he's saying just terrible things about you, and I would not blame you if you were just completely lashed out at him.
No, he's going through something that is episodic, and he can't help. So no, I don't have any bad feelings about him. I do find it appalling that Jesse Davis, who's been working with a bunch of other co-conspirators, would use Nathan's delicate mental state to reinforce Jesse's own propaganda. I find that to be sickening. And as you saw in the video, and I haven't watched Nathan for years, but Nathan by his own admission hasn't spoken to me in years. And,
Yes.
You know, he made some weird claims in there. He claimed I was doubting Thomas in the Bible, right? Which is interesting. It's doubting Thomas. Probably a lot of Christians understand who doubting Thomas was, but in Latin it's the sola fide, which is the faith alone. Doubting Thomas is St. Thomas, one of the apostles, and according to John, which is not one of the synoptic Gospels. Mark, Matthew, and Luke are, and synoptic means they're all tied together, tethered together. But according to John, it was allegorical. Thomas did not put his finger into Jesus' wound. That's more of a story that came out later, probably right around the Council of Nicaea, where you would see that, and then basically that was prized by various bishops because they were telling their sheep, look, go out and test your faith, go out on pilgrimages. And so you hear about it from the Council of Nicaea, and then you see that trope take off in the 4th century with Cyril of Alexandria, and then you see art from places in Italy like Ravenna, and even the great masters Caravaggio painted it, Duccio painted it, and others. But to me, really, it's allegorical. And with Nathan, I don't know how deep into it he is, but it wasn't called Doubting Thomas. It was called the Incredulity of St. Thomas. So I've never stayed on St. Thomas, nor do I believe that I am. And also, folks, regardless of how one interprets the Bible, any person with critical thinking skills and some empathy knows that Nathan is vulnerable right now. He's all over the map, and instead of showing compassion to the men, some of these creeps like Corey Daniel and Jesse Davis, they want to weaponize Nathan's breakdown to attack me. It's reprehensible.
Yeah, I agree. I see it the same way. I didn't see these people around Nathan's chat, and when Nathan was going through all this stuff and when all this stuff went down, I saw who was there, and these people weren't. They came after the fact. They don't know the facts of the matter, and they're absolutely using it for propaganda against you. And I'm pretty pissed off. A lot of people are pissed off. They're exploiting our friend, like someone that'll never care about.
And Nathan is he's brought good content to people, and I think he's had a very Socratic method with his own life. He's examined things and asked questions. I'm not mad at him. I've never met him, but I feel for him right now, and it's creepy what these people are doing. You know him. You've had good, decent chats with him, and it's great to see you, support him too. I don't hold him responsible for the things that are coming out of his mouth, because his brain is not working properly. So I would be a pretty small guy to go ahead and take offense and get mad. I hope he's okay. That's where I'm at. I don't hate him.
Well, that's very diplomatic of you. I have trouble when he freaks out on me, not getting, not taking it personal. It's hard sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I hope people also consider, Nathan's wife or ex-wife too. And it's, it's not something for strangers to pretend empathy and then to literally go out while Nathan is in a vulnerable state and psyop him into, going along with whatever their dark agenda is. It's inhumane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, Phoenix Enigma. So,
yeah.
The timeline was Nathan was not around for 10 days. And then when he came back, he mentioned that he was in a mix of jail and the psych ward. And as soon as he gets out of the psych ward, he's talking to Phoenix Enigmas. Phoenix Enigmas taking a sudden interest in him. And
wait, who was in a psych ward?
Nathan. This is what this is what Nathan told us on his recent stream. I believe it was either the night he got out of because he was uploading to Instagram still wearing the uniform, the scrubs at whatever it's wherever he was, and then he got out and he did a stream and he told us that he had spent he had been incarcerated and fresh out of this, these people, they make this propaganda, mini documentary about Nathan saying the reason he got arrested is because he left his house and he says that he just said hi to an NPC, but he got a stalking charge. And have you seen this video that I'm talking about?
I saw a couple things where he said he got a 5152, which I've never heard of, but, I watched a couple minutes and it was enough for me to know that he was not thinking clearly. He's where he said I was doubting Thomas, and he said I was some gay pedophile or something, and then I was he was Thomas, and he had solved Cicada, and Defengo works for him. It just seemed like a bunch of disjointed, dissociative thoughts. So,
So behind the scenes, we were watching what was going on with Nathan, and a lot of us did a lot of us tried to help. And so we're watching behind the scenes, and when we're hearing him say this stuff about you, we just knew, because we know about the haters and the people that are obsessed with you, and we just knew they are going to use Nathan, once they find out about it. It was very predictable to people who have been following this stuff. And then, sure enough, this video comes out, and this is I'll show this because this is kind of the oh shoot, I can't show the video. Wait, okay, I'll have to download the video real quick. Nathan did a stream and he talked to our friend Jedi, and he told Jedi that he was battling Thomas Schoenberger's evil spirit, and then this person Poneberger, right? They make a whole YouTube account about you, and they titled this video, Nathan Stoltman Battles Thomas Schoenberger's Evil Spirit. And by their own admission, they're talking about someone who's dealing with a mental health crisis. That's in their own words, Jesse's own words. And so they take someone that's in the middle of a mental health crisis and they make this video. Nathan Stoltman battles Thomas Schoenberger's evil spirit. And you might not be able to, you won't be able to see it, Thomas. I'll just play a little bit for the audience, just for a minute or so, and I'll explain, what they said.
So what? I noticed somebody posted a tweet you made earlier today about if you run into an entity by that goes by the name Thomas Schoenberger. You need to
Do you know him?
Evacuate. I don't know him personally, but I mean, he's like one of the bosses of the internet, supposedly.
Yeah, he's a very dangerous individual.
Well, I mean,
I have trouble shedding his.
doesn't have really positive things to say about him. I mean, it just depends, like people's different interactions, I guess.
No, it's very he's not we're not all human beings here. He's like a very powerful thing that you don't want to trifle with. I had real problems. That's why I got arrested. It's because I was trying to deal with his spirit, getting it out of this house. It was very traumatic.
Damn. So what? He left like an impression. He came to you.
I had his spirit attached to me,
and then left some type of impression or some type of energy after he left.
Well, I'm just still concerned. He's not allowed in this house. It's just I'm just trying to sense. I don't want to call him, but I don't have to deal with him. So
yeah, it's like this. I feel like if you don't really talk about it, then what's the point of, what I mean?
It's just people need to be concerned.
Why would a dog bark at somebody?
He's part of something that's trying to fuck things up. That's all. You know what I mean? Like there are different factions in this war that we're in right now, and
like a spiritual war, right?
I literally can't say what's in my head and my memory that actually happened because they'd lock me up or something. That's the way the system's designed. It's designed to lock up people like me. And they just make shit up. I have the documents. They said I was a chronic alcoholic on meth just to lock me up. But it wasn't. Neither of those things were true at all.
Did they even
I didn't even
give
get
you a drug?
5150.
Did they give you a drug test?
Yeah. I take Vyvanse for ADHD, but it comes up as meth. And then they just write that on the form just to hold me. They couldn't actually hold me on 5150 because I wasn't a threat to myself or others. So they had to come up with some other reason, which they just made up. I have a form. Which is whatever, And then they took me to jail for stalking because I said hi to an NPC that was walking past when I was dealing with Thomas Schoenberger's evil spirit in front of my house, trying to get it out of my house. So
I can find it here. But, he was found guilty in the court. Of course, he comes on and starts spinning it and talking his shit and attacking the person that just won a lawsuit against him. He's probably in contempt of court right now. See what goes, but he doesn't stop. How is it that this individual who is involved in all these online shenanigans and narrative driving and driving people to the brink of insanity and suicide just so happens to be the person who goes out and begins handling Isaac Cappy days after he comes out, and just so happens to be the best friend of Michael Levine, who just so happens to be friends with Seth Green? Really? If you can't see what's going on here, people, I don't know what to tell you anymore. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I have a feeling this will be reopened up at the Attorney General's office. I have a feeling that this will not die. This topic will not die. If I have anything to do about it, the story of Isaac Cappy will continue to move forward because everything that Isaac was involved in is still going on right now, this day, involving other people, and you just witnessed 13 minutes of it involving Nathan Stolten.
Hey, Hoax. Amazing, huh?
Hey, you heard him saying, that stuff, the Isaac Cappy story, the same shit that was going on with Isaac, it's proof that stuff is still going on today, and Nathan is the proof, and he intends to keep the story going.
Yeah. So what is his agenda? You know, you take a look at Corey Daniel. He uses a non-diplom, the Phoenix Enigma. He set himself up as the chief investigator of Isaac Cappy. Yeah. He had a long-running YouTube channel and a lot of attention. To me, if Corey is involved in the death of Isaac Cappy, there would be a typology that the FBI would find as organized. You know, like with serial killers, there's organized and disorganized types. Organized killer will use intelligent planning, stealth, and logic, and cunning, right? He will be pristine, or she, usually he, whereas someone who's disorganized is usually having an episode, you know, lust, crazed, you know, schizophrenic. So to me, with Corey, the way he puts things out is definitely very pristine. He looks to be covering up something. He was literally within, I think, 15 minutes from the death scene of Isaac Cappy. 15 minutes.
You know,
where were you and I? Well, I was far away.
Yeah, I was further away than that.
Yep, I was in LA. And so why would this guy suddenly glom on to Isaac Cappy and devote thousands of hours, and very publicly, and now jump over to Jesse William Davis's channel and continue the barrage, you know, baffle them with bullshit, go make up a whole bunch of stuff. He got exposed. I think Steve Oakram, Burners.me, exposed him. I think other people did. There were a lot of stories that Corey told that didn't measure up. And if you look at the guy, just look at him pretty close, he doesn't seem very relaxed. He seems pretty nervous to me. What do you think?
You know, as someone who cares about what happens to Nathan, I don't appreciate the guy. I don't appreciate the comparisons to Isaac Cappy, considering what happened to him. You know, that's like pretty morbid and I think kind of sick. I really don't appreciate it. I don't think it's.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. And why is he injecting himself in here unless he's got an agenda, which is to cover up his own tracks? He has not accounted for his own behaviors, his own movements, and then he devotes years to a YouTube channel that comes up with no result. It's kind of like, you know, Ted Bundy, right? Ted Bundy used all sorts of ruses. He was at heart a real, you know, anti-social guy, but he was smart. So he would put on a cast and pretend that his arm was broken, and he would ask a woman to help with groceries and, you know, hit her over the head and take her and, you know, rape her and kill her. So this is a guy who would use charm, but all the time in his head he was plotting things, and you get that sense that, you know, he's kind of like a John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy type, but he looks like a goat. That's what Corey Daniel does. I mean, he looks like a damn billy goat. Look at him. Get that man some hay.
You know, the Isaac Cappy thing, where they go out of their way to compare this Nathan to Isaac, and on its surface, okay, maybe you might want to explain it away by saying, oh, okay, Isaac had mental health issues, if you believe that, and Nathan is going through a mental health crisis, and they're both streaming it. So maybe if you see parallels, between that, I'm not going to fault a person for drawing that comparison, but you have to put the context in where they have been accusing you of masterminding the execution of Isaac Cappy for 6 years now. So when they say there are parallels between Nathan and Isaac, they're making an accusation,
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no there, which, I never met Isaac Cappy. We never had an argument. When he did come out on Twitter in, July 2018, it wasn't his first time that he made accusations. And, I did refer him to Nathan Stoltman, and Nathan did interview him. But, Cappy went on to do Periscopes that I never watched. He went on to be on Alex Jones. I spoke to him twice in the 8 months before he died. Once on October 12th, 2018, where Frank Bacon patched me into a phone call with him. I was not expecting that. And then maybe a month before he died, he complained about Arturo Tafoya. And there's evidence of that. So that will be coming out. It seems to me that Corey Daniel is attempting to distract from his own movements, his own behaviors. He's a cover-up artist from what I've seen. And what's weird, folks, is right after Cappy died, he contacts me. And smooth operator, right? He was talking to me about Arizona and its history and its indigenous people, and I was very interested in the occult, and generally was buttering me up. But then he has Elahai Priest on as a guest. Elahai was who Isaac Cappy went to visit in Australia. And Elahai is into the whole cult thing. Right after Cappy died, DeFango accuses you and I, as you remember. And then a day later, I've got Elahai Priest calling me on WhatsApp and basically having a meltdown, saying that he's going to have me crucified live stream, literally. So there's a little bit of
I had never heard
passion play.
Had you talked about that before?
In fact, yeah, I preserved some of it. DeFango put it on his Discord, and then this guy Jayanon sent it to me. So I've got it. Happy to share it. It's been out there. Titus has actually covered it.
What was Eli so mad at you about? Because he was ostensibly buying into the propaganda that DeFango's putting out?
I don't think he was mad. It sounded like he was mad.
That kind of thing when he's angry?
It sounds to me like he was acting just like I think Corey is generally nervous. Corey Daniel. There's something going on, and I hope that there will be a reinvestigation into Isaac Cappy, including any and all communications he had for the 6 months to 8 months preceding his death. I think that'd be a good call. Yeah. I'd like to find out more about it. Honestly. I think there's been an attempt at a frame job, and not just at me, but at other people too. So there's something going on, and why investigators won't open or reopen the case, I don't know. They really should.
When I watch these people operate, and I've been behind the scenes, I saw the Nathan thing progress. And I saw that you had no interaction. You weren't even around for it. You didn't even know what was happening. Nathan himself admits he doesn't even remember the last time he talked to you. So I'm watching this whole thing progress with Nathan, and then I'm seeing the Thomas hate mob. They create this fan fiction around you, and they get people to believe it, and they all buy in, and they feed off of each other. It's like for the first time I actually see this whole thing formulate behind the scenes from a perspective where I know the actual truth, and I know these people are long, and I know these people are exploiting Nathan and using, capitalizing, and we talked about how they are doing the Isaac Happy comparisons. If you've been watching them and how they operate and how they're treating Nathan, and it just, I hate to even talk this way or think this way about something, but it's almost as if I can see them, if something happened to Nathan, God forbid, that would be something they could use against you, and that's a win for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So it kills me to even talk that way, but I watch the way they operate. I can't help but feel that way. And then I wonder if that's the dynamic, that they hate Thomas so much that they're willing to, like, I don't know.
I think it's even more complicated than that. They're covering up something. That's what's going on. There's something to hide, and I think that's what we're looking at. So if everybody points at me as a rodeo clown, right, demand to be hated, what are they covering up? Well, look at Jesse Davis. He has a guy on that you were showing, Daniel Randowd, who was indicted for aggravated sexual assault on a child. He's been involved with Dustin Reddy, who went by the moniker Ghost 3301, who was attacking me nonstop, and until he got arrested in South Carolina. He's now doing a 30-year term for child pedophilia, and that is a rape of a child under the age of 11. So that could be technically, a 2-year-old. He got long enough prison sentence that it makes me think it's probably a 5 or 6-year-old. That's really disgusting. It's horrible. And there's Jesse Davis himself. Jesse is married to Paula Davis, who goes by Pavana. Her brother is doing a 47-year stretch in Michigan on child pedophilia and arson. You can look it up, David Volkert, too. I'm happy to give you the evidence for that. So there's something up. It's weird. And then, of course, Titus, outed Arturo Tafoya, who's a self-admitted pedophile. Right? And I met Tafoya. I threw him up against the wall when he told me 13-year-olds are not off limits. So these people are creeps. There's no excuse for pedophilia. And, I'll be very blunt. I would like to put a bullet into the head of every pedophile. I have no empathy for them. Done.
I'm on board with you there.
Yeah, I think most people are. The idea that they're, if you go to California, they're trying to make it normalized too. They call them MAPS, minor attracted persons. Fuck that. That's a horrible thing. It's and then you see the whole pedocatcher world. Well, pedophiles are involved with that stuff. They're joining the groups and they're play acting and watching everything and looking for victims. So it's messed up.
I'd like to do a follow-up stream if you're available at some point down the line where we go into each one of these people that is opposing you and harassing you, and we show the receipts because these things are on record. So for each,
I love it.
Yeah, we'll be the one podcast that substantiates their claims.
I would love that.
And Titus Frost.
It's what I love about you. I've enjoyed Steve Hookham too, and Titus because they didn't say, "Hey, Thomas, we want to take what you say and replicate it." They asked me hard questions, and I had to provide evidence chains, and that's what matters. Receipts. So anybody can manipulate a screenshot, but when you have actual evidence, and then, you know, you've got this E, the fraud guy, E, the friend, who Arturo Tafoya has accused me of being, and that we know is not true. So these people, they lie about one thing, they lie about everything. So it's what I told you at the very beginning, which is if I lied to you even once, excoriate me. Literally, hold my feet to the fire. Folks?
Thomas?
You're there, good.
Yes.
Good.
I was just looking at some feedback we have from chat. Well, I think people are pretty like, you know, they're like, obviously, those are like some shocking allegations, but these are not even. The one about Lestat, I'll have to look into, but I know that the one with Ivana's husband Ivana's brother and Daniel Dowd, these are not disputed. Like, these are just matter of fact. And they're like horrifying crimes, and we'll show people those receipts. And
these are, you know.
And these are people that spend all day accusing other people of nefarious things. And if you look at them, they're chomos, they are like adjacent.
Yeah.
They're DJs at tranny bars, and they like to troon out and wear lipstick and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, really weird shit. And then, you know, every night I'm the topic du jour for Jesse. I don't watch his streams. It goes beyond lunacy. To me, there's an agenda somewhere. And, you know, I'm not an investigator. I'm a pianist. You know, I write songs. So it's not my focus. I was never in the family. I did not watch everything that Isaac Cappy said on Periscope. I'm aware he was calling out pedophiles everywhere, you know, and called out Kevin Spacey, who was just found innocent, although I understand 3 of the 4 witnesses that accused him of things are dead. So, you know, there's a lot there, and there's a lot of people who are looking into deviance that is being normalized. And I think that is a good thing, but when it comes to making a comparable between Isaac Cappy and Nathan, there's not much. Isaac was a firebrand. He would yell into the mic. He made some accusations that he didn't back up, in my opinion. But he was a Hollywood insider. He was a B actor, and people assumed that he would know. With Nathan, even though he's bashing me because he's vulnerable right now, he's done some pretty good research in the past, and he's you know, he's more of a digs in and does not use emotion in his delivery like Isaac. Isaac was very animated. Isaac was a really good musician too, but I don't think Nathan is. But you know, it's weird. Even though this is going to sound very weird, even though he said horrible, defamatory things about me, I'm not going to sue him, and I don't harbor any ill will. I understand he's in a precarious place and has been through a rough patch. I want, you know, I hope he heals. I hope he's better.
Well, I hope he can hear that and take it to heart. And whatever he said in the past, I have a feeling, and I'm not going to speak for you, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Whatever Nathan has said in the past about you, if Nathan wanted to be friends with you right now, I have a feeling it would be water under the bridge to you. Even though the things he said were, to some people, would probably be unforgivable, but
Yeah, I would forgive him. He has a disturbance between the ears. It doesn't take away from his humanity, and I'm understanding. So it's the only way to fly. Yeah. So, and I think he will get help and get back on the road. He's been dealt some tough blows, but I'm not going to, I've decided to talk today because you're his friend, but it's not like I'm going to go ahead and be all things Nathan Saltman. I'm kind of keeping my distance from it, and I really hope these trolls quit with their bullshit. They should let Nathan heal instead of engaging in hijinks.
Yeah, so this is, we love Nathan. We want Nathan to get better. And these people that, look, we get it. We get it. You hate Nathan. You hate Thomas. And, obviously this is like juicy bait for you guys. But come on.
I don't think he hates me.
Nathan?
Yeah, because he started out. Well, he ended up saying, that he solved Cicada. I'm St. Thomas. I'm a powerful entity, and then he said he had killed me. And so this is, this is a disassociative verbal stream, and he may not know how he feels. My job as an adult is to stay clear and wish him well. And that's where I'm at. Pretty simple. And look, he has, in my mind, he's done a lot of good things. Look, imagine if you had that type of illness, and you were able to build something out of yourself, and he has. He's entertained us. He's brought some things to light that mainstream media would not. So, I think there's a place for Nathan, but not for my evil spirit.
And if you listen to Jesse, his whole argument that you attacked Nathan is like he claims that your quote-unquote mindless minions attacked Nathan on Twitter, and that you attacked Nathan on Twitter, but you did not even say anything until well after you had said all this stuff about you, and you were finally like, Nathan, can you stop? And so he has this whole timeline messed up. It's ignorant at best, and intentionally malicious at worst. And that's kind of what it seems like. He just does not care about facts, and he's going to further his agenda by any means necessary. These mindless minions, they don't. What evidence does he have that they're working for you? That they have anything to do with you? These people. I saw the weird attacks he was getting with you, and the weird attacks Nathan was getting, or I should say, weird responses he was getting from his own weird behavior, and it was the kind of weirdo Satanist shit you get on Twitter. Welcome to Twitter. And how does that have anything to do with Thomas? And another part where Jesse was calling out Thomas's quote-unquote mindless minions, I know for a fact were not, because they were hoax wars people asking, just playing devil's advocate and asking questions anyone else would, and Jesse immediately labeled us all Thomas's minions. So you can't even talk. You can't even really have a conversation with him. You're automatically labeled. What do the Scientologists call them?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm going to end this shit. And you, my friend, are now inducted into the Hall of Fame of mindless minions. That you will be attacked by Jesse. You'll have a nice big conversation with his is felon trolls.
All right.
And I do need felon.
Bring it, Jesse.
Yeah.
Suppressive persons.
It's amazing.
As the Scientologists call the opposition, suppressive persons.
There you go. All I do know is that I find it very fascinating, and I've been talking with Titus and others, that Isaac Happy has really had brand resilience, as I was saying. He hasn't gone away. And I think there's a ghost of Isaac Happy or Isaac Happy's Army on Twitter, because a lot of the videos were immediately suppressed. There's a lot of shade and there's a lot of interest in what really happened. And, personally, I don't mention a certain hedge fund manager's name, but I think he was set up also as someone who was being pointed at by several people. I think he had nothing to do with it, but that person no longer shows up on Jesse's channel. He knows better. I think he stayed away from Jesse's channel because he found out Daniel Ryan Dowd's criminal sexual history. And he's seen now that Jesse Davis was involved in Dustin Reddy, the guy who is now doing 30 years in a penitentiary for child rape. And then there are other people there that are ex-cons that I'm not going to get into today. We probably need to do more of these. But, you got a band of criminals repeating and amplifying false narratives. So, it's the Scarlet Letter. As far as me, I'm not going to lie. At first, I was very alone. But then people came and said, "We want to hear your side." Remember Steve Uttram? Then, minds inspired, started to ask questions. Titus did, and all of a sudden they were attacked. So that's when we knew something was, definitely askew.
And so the Isaac Happy's last Instagram post, where he goes in that whole diatribe and talking about how he's Judas and stuff. Like, I know you didn't talk to Isaac behind the scenes as much as people think, but as someone who did talk to him a little behind the scenes, more than most of us, did the words in his last Instagram post, did it sound like Isaac Happy's voice as you know it?
No.
It didn't. So you feel like that was maybe written by...
That was Shark Billy Kelly. That's what people told me. It was Kelly G.
That wrote that final Instagram post for him?
There was someone who did some sort of linguistic algo and determined that was not Isaac typing. So, and determined that it was Kelly G. She's now dead. She died of a brain aneurysm maybe a little bit over a year and a half ago. And by the way, oddly, Jesse Davis did a tribute to Shark Billy Kelly. So, and she was, not a TS fan.
Yeah.
So,
she had we call it Thomas derangement syndrome.
Yeah, and she was very close to who else? Corey Daniel. So you see these actors, these malevolent actors, these no flitters, as you say, adventure, and they keep on coming back. Diana Nordstrom, Jesse Davis are Truro Tafoya, and then you've got Microchip, who's now a government informant who was arrested for stuff. And I can show you evidence where he was friends with DeFango, was in these tied to Doug Stewart and Magaco. And
so by all accounts, Shark Billy Kelly really was a close friend of Isaac. So was she an undercover Fed the whole time, manipulating him, or was she a true friend of Isaac that became brainwashed by these people who are out to convince people that Thomas Schoenberger is evil. You know,
I think Short Billy Kelly was part. I think she was part of the criminal outfit. Her husband had been arrested for kidnapping and was released after a year, probably to be an informant, and then did an armed robbery and received the original 12-year sentence he was given and died in prison. So Short Billy Kelly had a pretty interesting history herself. You know, she was making videos saying, I banged a Satanist. And she was very tied in with Corey Daniels. So it's that whole occult Arizona thing going on. I don't have all the answers.
Chat is agreeing with us that these people have way too many, like, criminal charges and heinous things on their record per capita, you know, compared to the control group. Like, it's just
very interesting.
Yeah.
You got some really good people in the chat with really good critical thinking skills, you know, and it's very interesting that we're talking about Isaac Cappy, you know, 4 years after he died.
Oh, we have over 90 watching. This show's like a massive success. People are really on the edge of their seat, wanting to find out what's happening with all this stuff. It's really, it's 6 years in the making. You know, we all thought this stuff was going to go away, but it's crazier than ever. I appreciate you taking the time and coming on and talking about all these things where, you know, I can imagine it's not the most comfortable. I mean, you know, you could easily just not turn the computer on and go live your life, but.
Well, you know, I have a lot of respect for you, and I understand your concern for Nathan right now. So I think, you know, being public, you're saying I have no animus towards Nathan. I hope he gets better. You know, he's a lucky guy to have friends like you. As far as live streams, I only do you and Titus. No, I'm not really part of the live stream community, as you know.
Yeah.
You know, I write songs.
Yeah, I don't see you out there a whole lot. And anytime I've asked you to come on, you know, you've been more than willing. So, you know, I am appreciative of that. And you know, I see this as a favor to my audience because they are, you know, not all of them were around for those early days, you know, the Seth Rich files and stuff. There are a lot of people who are watching, who were around back then, but I moved over to D Live and started covering Owen Benjamin and kind of attracted a different audience that from that old school, you know, YouTube conspiracy theory. And so these people are also Lift the Veil fans, a lot of them. And Nathan's become not only, you know, a streamer we like to watch, but he hangs out with us in our Telegram group. You know, he's like part of our social group. So
yeah, he's family. So he's a family member going through a crisis. So gentleness and kindness is the way to deal with it. So, you know, it's I hope they leave him alone and, you know, start to understand the gravity of the situation and stop trying to hijack him for their own narratives. You know, it's ugly.
Do you think Jesse would come on the panel and talk to me about it, or allow me on his panel?
I don't know. Maybe I can't be on that because on advice of my attorneys. So I've got to keep everything pretty quiet about that. That's why I've been so laser focused on deep fakes, artificial intelligence, and Corey Daniel, who needs to be looked at as a suspect in the Cappy death. So, I'm pretty clear.
Before I forget, not to switch topics too abruptly, but and it's been so long since we've gotten a chance to talk, that a lot has happened beyond this Nathan thing, including this professor from Michigan State literally wrote a white paper, and she's a professor, like an actual professor at Michigan State University. You can go look her up. She's faculty. She wrote a white paper that is, it's in the archives now at Michigan State. This is considered material that the people are supposed to learn about. And what was her white paper about? QAnon?
Yeah.
And this white paper was about QAnon, but it basically it's disguised as a white paper, but it's actually completely I don't know. You read this white paper and the woman's obsessed with you, and she thinks that you created Q, and she thinks you're the mastermind and all this stuff. What are your feelings on that?
Well, on advice of my attorneys and my wife, I can't comment. The matter is going to be addressed legally, so I can't weigh in. I would love to answer your question, but I don't want my attorneys to be angry with me. I don't want to be a good client.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense, because what she did is insane. And if, I don't know, if you're allowed to just do what she did to people, do what she did to you, if you're allowed to just do that to people, it's a really scary, it's not a pleasant premonition. So, that makes sense. And, hopefully she, doesn't get away with that. But separately from that, the same woman, this professor from Michigan, there was a terror attack on the Michigan State campus, or I should say a mass shooting. And is it hyperbole to say that she implicated you in the mass shooting on her Twitter account? And also mine inspired. And she was postulating that the killer was mind controlled by us before they knew the identity of the shooter. It was an active shooter situation. And so immediately upon making these public proclamations on Twitter, you can imagine you could be hunted down, street justice, right? Based on disinformation. So very, very dangerous state of affairs. So obviously the killer was found to be someone who had no connection to us, but it was during an active shooter situation that is, akin to pointing at someone like Richard Jewell, right? The Olympic bombing, or other examples of innocent people being tarred and feathered, burned as witches, right? With all the other defays of earlier times, right? Where they would grab some woman and they would say, "We're going to burn you because you're a witch." Oh no, instead of that, we're going to throw you in the river, and if you drown, you're innocent. But if you rise to the top, well, we're getting some kindling wood tonight, baby. And so it's pretty messed up. But my response will be instructed by my attorneys. So, I listen to them and, make a move without them. Okay, understood. And so I won't press too hard on that, but just so the audience knows, from my perspective, what I saw was like, and we'll show receipts. We'll do follow-up episodes and show everyone, but in this mission, it's not an accident. She didn't out of the blue randomly do a white paper where she named Thomas Schoenberger as Q and made all these potentially defamatory statements. She became part of the operation or under the mind control. This whole Thomas hate campaign bled over to include her, right? And to the point where she's good buddies with Lestat now, right? Or maybe you can't talk about it, but that's fine. Okay. I won't, press that issue, but, people can look for, you will let us know, as soon as you can talk about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You'll see. Something is in the works. But, I want to keep, my attorneys happy. I want to keep my wife happy. So, yeah, I want to keep Marsha's 17 house cats happy. Or is it 18? She's become quite a cat lady. You can ask her. We got to keep street ghosts happy. Right?
Oh,
Mr. 007.
I want to upset street ghosts. That's the last thing I would ever go doing.
You're great, Hoax. I think I was your first fan, right? I go way back.
There's an argument for that. Yeah, way back.
Yeah.
Definitely the
longest
baby. One's still around. Like, you're up there.
Yeah.
People know that.
I remember the solid days of Hoax Wars. Now you're a big star.
I'll try not to let it go to my head.
Well, one thing, if you can find some sort of electric fence for my evil spirit, I'd like to contain them. We got to do something about that thing. It's loose.
Yeah, that's funny.
Actually, I rented my evil spirit to Street Ghost. He's got it right now. He's saving it for Halloween.
You can't stop an evil spirit. You can only hope to keep it contained.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, the question remains, is someone putting that into Nathan's head? It doesn't strike me as a malicious guy at all. I mean, it doesn't seem to have a mean on his body. So to me, it's compulsion. It's command hallucinations. It's dissociative behavior. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. My dad was. But, to me, he doesn't, there's an innocence about Nathan.
Yeah.
I think that we all see that.
Yeah. I know what you mean when you say that.
Yeah.
This is kind of off topic, and I hope it's all right, but chat is curious about Tracy Twyman.
I didn't know her. She talked to me once after Cappy died, and I understand that she, died mysteriously, but I never looked into her. That was something that Steve Outram had some discourses with her, but I never knew. Tracy had one conversation with her. I guess she was a former member of the Church of Satan. Is that correct?
That sounds like it. Oh, and I think I heard from Litha Vale that Tracy she said she had multiple personalities, and one of them was a demon, and she wrote a book from the perspective of the demon or something. So
I never read anything that, but you bring up a important point. You've got Corey Daniel as the occultist, very much into ritualistic magic. Studied a lot of that stuff. His living girlfriend, last person to see Isaac Happy alive. She's a self-proclaimed Sicilian witch. So, I don't get into that shit. I write music. I'm not fascinated by the occult. I thought the wise one was at 13, like most 13-year-old boys, right? We want power. We're in puberty. We want to assume that we can move things and do things that other people can't. But it's called puberty, right? It's fantasy. But right now, I'm a 63-year-old guy, and I am a composer. So I don't fixate on magic. I'm not. I'm repulsed Satanism and by crowdism. I don't like it. I stay away from it. You know, try to keep to, you know, trying to do good things for people, trying to bring beauty into the world. That's kind of how my wife is. She's an artist. That's how Marcia, my arranger, is. So a lot of people are. We try to make the world a little bit better, and that includes Nathan. Despite what he's going through right now, which is episodic, I see him as a good guy. I do.
Thomas, my headphones are dying, and now people hear an echo. So this may be a good time to end it for now. And hopefully, if you're available next week, we can pick up where we left off.
Let's call this stream Ricola.
Sounds good.
Okay, man. Listen, great chat today. I appreciate it, and thanks to all your viewers. They're really sharp. They've got really good bullshit detection skills. So hopefully, they've got some investigating to do.
Oh yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we are just here for at the pleasure of chat. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, we can count on next week. There are certain things I can't talk about for legal reasons, but happy to continue the conversations. Sounds good. And I'll be on Titus Cross tomorrow night. So I always enjoy, saying hi to the captain. He's a good guy.
Awesome. We're all going to check out Titus Frost tomorrow. Check you out on Titus Frost. And is there where else can people reach you?
Sophia Music, MUSIK music. So that's on YouTube. I've got some music there, and it's free. You don't have to donate anything. The songs are free. And also, Thomas'sEvilSpirit.com. That website again, Thomas'sEvilSpirit.com.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Thomas. We'll talk to you soon.
You got it, hoax. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.